This program was pre-recorded.
You've entered the Fletch Nation with Roy Fletcher, political analyst and socio-political prophet, and Kevin Gallagher, TV and podcast host, and opinionated jackhole. So settle in, grab a beverage. It's time to talk some politics. It's Fletch Nation. Now here are the boys.
Hello. Welcome again to Fletch Nation. Roy Fletcher over here in the white, and to me, Kevin Gallagher here in the two-tone. And consider this here on the 17th day
yes, of May.
Of May.
This is you see
as we record this week's program. This is the "We Told You So" edition of Fletch Nation.
We told you for 7 years so. If you listen to us, we told you so.
Honestly, Roy and I have been doing this program, originally on the radio before we moved it to television, and virtually for 7 years.
Yes.
When this subject has come up, we have referred to it as
a nothing burger.
The nothing burger.
Yes. And so we're finally at the end of eating the nothing burger, folks. But what we have found is something far more insidious than what was first alleged. Clearly, the John Durham report is the story of the week. Mm-hmm. There's a couple of stories, but that story is the story of the week, which from it emanates other stories that are kind of interesting. But let's go to the Durham report. And the Durham report, the Durham investigation, if you remember, started in 2019, 4 years in the making, 3.5 years in the making. And it was sort of Trump's reaction to the Mueller report. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, the Mueller report, if you remember, unlike what Democrats are trying to spin today, the Mueller report, the Mueller investigation, got nobody. Mm-hmm. Nobody.
Yep.
What happened was Paul Manafort had apparently committed some sort of internal revenue and foreign representation violations, and got
little tiny thing.
Well, I don't know, and bank loan fraud or whatever they alleged about that, and so he had to go lay down a little bit in solitary. George Papadopoulos got a meeting confused. He said it was on one date, but it was about a week and a half or two later, and so he had to go lay down for 3 days. I can't remember. Oh, General Michael Flynn.
Yep.
Was Flynn. Interviewed by the FBI and apparently denied a phone call. The best I can recall what the substance of it was. But later on in the interview, went back and said, "Yeah, I remember what you did," something like that. So that's what they got out of the Mueller report. Nothing but process crime. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, the infamous arrest of Roger Stone for lying, quote, lying to Congress, which is an oxymoron, given the fact that they lie every day to each other. And so that was the end of the Mueller report. And then he did his report, the investigator. Then he did his report, and it was a great long thing, and it was a nothing burger, a big old nothing burger. And then we go along, and so 2019 comes, and they're still screaming Russia, 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 and Trump kept telling people, these people are lying, they've committed frauds, they've done everything in the world. And so John Durham took over an investigation. And 3.5 years later, what did John Durham do? He tried Andrew Sussman, I think. Anyway, he tried, and he was found innocent of lying and other things to the FBI, innocent. And there was a lawyer who basically lied on a FISA application, saying somebody had worked for, Carter Page had not worked for the CIA when, in fact, Carter Page had worked for the CIA, and this damn lawyer knew it, so he just lied to get Carter Page, all of his phones tapped and everything else. That's what they got out of the John Durham. That was the whole thing that Trump said was this. All of this is complete lie. So Durham begins his investigation, continues on, and like I said, he got maybe two people. Tried one in Washington, D.C., which couldn't get a conviction, and then he tried another. Now, we had before this Hillary Clinton and the 33,000 emails that being destroyed.
The wiped server.
All kind of wiped servers.
Smashed cell phones.
Money from Russia, all kind of things were going on. So finally, John Durham issues his report. And in his report, he says, look, when you go to prosecute people, you have to have a very strong case that you're going to get a conviction. And what he said was essentially, I don't feel like these cases measure up or will not withstand public opinion. In other words, what John Durham was saying was, I tried Sussman in Washington, D.C., and nobody that tries anybody that is against Trump is going to get a conviction.
Not in Washington, D.C.
Not in Washington, D.C.
Not in New York City.
Not in New York City. Why do you think they want to try Trump in Washington, D.C. and New York City? Because it doesn't matter what the evidence is. Trump is going to be convicted.
Yep, he'll be convicted if we don't like him.
Period. We don't like him. So that's what Durham said, but he said more than that. And here's what he really did. He said the investigation that led to this Russia, and the dossier and all of this stuff was completely fraudulent. The whole thing was fraudulent. Everything the FBI was doing was a fraud.
The Christopher Steele dossier
was a fraud. All of it is a fraud. For folks, this is not a nothing burger. It was a fraud. And here's the deal. And we kept saying, but I looked at the people. Andrew McKay, what was that damn Weissman?
Yep.
Andrew Weissman, Peter Strzok, Lisa Page, James Comey, Christopher Wray. You go through the list. What do you think it could possibly be but a fraud? John Brennan, Clapper, all of them. They handled this thing completely different than the way they handled the Hillary Clinton investigation. They did not start the Hillary Clinton investigation until the last month of the campaign. They started this one the first hour that some drunk in Australia had a conversation with George Papadopoulos, and in a bar, obviously they were both drinking and probably inebriated, and called somebody who called the FBI. That was when it started, right then. Oh my God, it's Russia trying to... Well, we have come to find out that Russia, according to Durham, had nothing to do with that campaign, that it was frivolous, it was a fraud on the public, and Kevin, we told you so.
Yes. Roy, the thing that bothers me about this, and we only got about 30 seconds left.
There's a lot we're going to get into.
All of this was the hinge pin of an impeachment of a sitting U.S. president.
Not only did they do this to a candidate and a person, they did it to the President of the United States, including making this investigation such broad and wide that they were tapping into the President's White House phones, so on and so forth. I mean, this was unbelievable, folks. And I know it's unbelievable that we got to go and come back, but we're going to come back because I got a lot more to say about this.
We'll be back in 3 minutes with more. Stay by.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Every great story starts with the rush of thrilling gaming action. Handcrafted flavors, eager to please. Getaways for some well-deserved me time. And rewards worth bragging about. If it's a story worth telling, it starts at La Berge Baton Rouge. What's your story?
You could be driving a...
Now's the time to save on new Accords during Happy Honda Days at Team Honda of Acadiana. Get our lowest prices and biggest savings on our largest selection of Accords this year. Hurry in and save during Happy Honda Days at Team Honda of Acadiana, I-49 just south of Opelousas.
Visit Treads & Care Tire Company's new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for over 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair and top-notch customer service.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Caught spiders? Premier Pest Services.
Old School Barbecue Smokehouse at 10655 Accorsi Boulevard in Baton Rouge, the state's capital. When you want to, really, the name says it all, really. It is old school homemade barbecue. Well done. Baked beans made from scratch.
The best.
Barbecue sauce is made from scratch.
The best.
It really is. Come on by and get yourself some sometime soon. So the Durham investigation has been the report is a bombshell.
So Kevin, what was this whole thing about then? What this whole thing was about was one thing very simple: get Trump.
Yep.
Get Trump. And by the way, folks, we're not the only people that told you this. Donald Trump told you this the whole way through. You like him, you hate him, you don't like the way he talks, whatever it is you dislike about him, he told you. He told the American public, he told all of us what this was. And it came to be exactly what he said it was, a complete fraud. And by the way, this investigation of Trump now, this other stuff that's going on, is just a continuation of the same. Now, let's look at the justice system under this situation. I just said, Andrews, you couldn't convict a person who shot Trump. I don't know how to say it that way. That's wrong to say.
That's a bad image to
That's a
conjure
bad
up.
thing. But you couldn't convict a person that done some harm to Trump in Washington or New York if you tried. But you could convict anybody that was in the same room with him at any time for anything. I'm just saying. I don't think there's in those two places. And yet, where do they want him to be tried? Washington, D.C., New York.
Well, where they know he can't get a fair trial.
Why? Because he can't even get any kind of trial. So what you have here is a clear example. The FBI treating Clinton differently. The FBI treating this in a fraudulent manner. And the Department of Justice treating it in a fraudulent manner. And now we know that the two-tier justice system, there is no justice for anybody. I think those convictions in Washington, D.C. of those people of January 6th, most of them should be thrown out and tried somewhere else in the United States. I mean, because there is no way those people got fair trials. Everybody knew it, but now you can see it. It's right in your face.
The sentences, when you look at what these people actually allegedly did do as compared to what the sentences they received for it. And then there are people that were arrested for January 6th that have never, they're still in jail, and they've never had due process.
Never had due process. And the whole thing is horrendous. Let me tell you how horrendous it is. There's a story today that people that came from communist countries were interviewed about from Albania, Cuba, other places that had been lived in the country, and they said what has happened here reminds them of exactly what happened in the countries that they come from, in terms of their families and that kind of thing, about how they were treated by the government of that country. This is outrageous, but nobody wanted to believe it because the American public don't want to believe anything. That's the problem.
Well, and plus a lot of the players involved belong to a certain political party, and I think a lot of people who are members of that party, they consider themselves as members of that party to be America's good guys. If I'm wrong, there's nobody good. There's nobody good guy. The Democrats really do feel like they are the good guys, and the Republicans are the bad guys.
Well, one of the reasons for that is because God has been dismissed from our society, but everybody has a sense of morality, and the way that you express your morality is because you become woke, and government and politics allows that to be your morality now.
Well, and we've also reached...
I mean, that's absolutely the truth.
We've reached a point where you've got to go along with the narrative if you want to have a peaceful life, if you don't want to be harassed, canceled,
that's right,
ostracized,
that's a whole different thing. That's a whole different thing.
So you just got to go along.
But with people who are so committed to their morality, being government and politics, their whole choice is nothing but cancel the devil. The devil is somebody that has an opposite opinion. Okay, so anyway.
You know what you just made me think of? You made me think of like in Iran, in Iraq, when they always refer to the U.S. as the devil. We're the great Satan.
Absolutely.
And so, in some people's eyes, conservatives
Republicans
are.
I mean, conservatives are, whatever the case may be. And to the conservatives, those other side.
Just people with a different viewpoint.
Yeah, it's all it is. And nobody wants to. But anyway, we won't stay there. So now, look here. So all of this has gone on, and now we head into this. What's going on here? They're just absolute payoffs being made to the Biden family by foreign countries.
How many members? 9 members of the Biden family?
Yes.
Receiving emoluments, if you want.
And please don't tell me that these were all legitimate business, because there was no business. There was just payoffs, whatever you want to call it. There was either payoffs or bribes or whatever, however you want to say, or there was payola or however you want to talk about. Look, they know that the money got there, and it's upwards of $10 million or more. So, and it's spread out among the Biden family into 20 LLCs that don't have any business whatsoever except the receipt of the checks. It was all a money washing operation.
And 10% going to the big guy.
And so you take those two things together, and I'll tell you who should have been indicted in this whole thing. The American press.
Oh, yeah.
The American press knew or didn't want to know that this whole thing with Trump was fraud. And they reported it like it was real. And it was fraud. And now they know this thing with Biden is real, and they're not going to report it at all.
At all.
That folks, you think thinking in the communist countries that came here that the government was bad? What about the press, guys? Well, the press is the government in Cuba. Well, guess what? I wouldn't really criticize Cuba that much because the press is the government here.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely the government here. As long as the government is what? Democrat. Okay, so we got that squared away.
Yeah, it's an interesting way we shift. When you have conservative power in Washington, D.C., in the White House, and at least one House of Congress, then the media turns into the
freedom
opposition.
of the press.
It's the opposition. Freedom of the press. You're barring the truth.
Freedom of the press. Oh, but
then when the left gets back in power,
we're gonna be baby lickers when the Democrats are.
Yep. God bless the USA.
God bless the USA. So anyway, so is there anything to really substantively report except the House Oversight Committee? No, they only have these these bank alert things that are going on that, they're very odd activity, and they got them all, and they all lead to the Biden accounts.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, that's nothing. That's a Sunday school picnic, right?
Yep.
Well, we're going to take it a little further. When we come back, only got 20 seconds here, folks, so I'm not going to, I got a story to tell, and I don't want to interrupt my story by having a break and making money.
This is called a teaser.
Yeah, that's right.
So if you want to hear Roy's story.
Yeah, you got to stick with us and in a couple of seconds, we're going to be leaving, and when we come back, I'm going to tell you the rest of the story, as the great Paul Harvey once said.
Good day. Be right back.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Few things in life are as valuable as family and peace of mind, especially when it comes to your final arrangements. And that's where Dignity Memorial can help. Our prepaid funeral plans make sure that your life will be remembered exactly the way you want it to. At Dignity Memorial, no detail is too large or too small. Call Lee Serio at 225-315-6329. That's 315-6329. Dignity Memorial, the peace of mind your family deserves.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
The season of inspiration is the perfect time to discover the enhanced Mazda CX-5, named a 2022 IIHS Safety Pick Plus Award winner, its highest safety award honor. Choose from over 45 CX-5s available at Baton Rouge's Mazda dealer, Team Mazda on Airline.
Hi gang, Clarence Buggs here, inviting you to come by Old School Barbecue, 10655 Coursey Boulevard, where we tape the show live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 11 o'clock. Come by and feast on news, sports, current events, love of God and country, and lots of common sense, along with some of the best barbecue anywhere on the planet. 10655 Coursey Boulevard, Old School Barbecue, home of the Clarence Buggs Show.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to greystonecountryclub.com.
Roy and I are talking about the Durham report, which came out. It's quite a bombshell, and it basically says everything that the left has been saying about Donald Trump, Russian collusion, interfering with the 2016 election. It's all been horse manure. But
we've been saying it for 7 years.
Yes,
now
Roy and I have been saying it.
Yeah, we have been, and so is one other person, Donald J. Trump. But that's beside the point. Look, I got a comment on my Facebook, our web thing. A lady said to me, "I really like y'all's show, but could you lose the gum?"
I saw that comment.
And my answer to that was, well, I guess it's either the gum or smoking. But I've been quit for 12 years now. Trust me, folks, this would be a place where I want to smoke.
Man, thank you for watching. You don't seem to have any gum in right now, do you?
But I got a little bit. But anyway, I'll just say that to you. It's Nicorette gum. It saved my life. So anyway, there was.
Hey, I remember 7, 8 years ago, Roy used to be dipping while we were. So every now and then when you listen to the radio show, you hear him go, and I'd see him grab his spit cup and I'd turn his microphone.
Kevin, please.
It's fun, man.
That was some way I was trying to keep. But anyway,
it's a habit you got rid of.
But yeah, I have not been smoking in 12 years. I haven't used tobacco in
congratulations,
about 7 or 8 of any kind. So I'm pretty happy about that. Not that I'm going to be blessed about it, but I'm not going to be sick about it. So look, so here we are with this Biden thing, and what does it emanate around? What the Hunter Biden laptop? It emanates around a number of things. The Hunter Biden laptop and the FBI. Can you believe that the FBI would not investigate it? Because they haven't.
I can't imagine.
They haven't.
They've had the thing for what, 19 months, and they haven't.
They had it in 2019.
Oh my God, that.
Yeah, but remember they had it in the election. They told Twitter and all you can't. That's Russian disinformation. So they used that whole thing with Trump as a pretext to protect Joe Biden in that 20 election. So we go on, and oh my God, somebody starts investigating Hunter Biden, a U.S. attorney in Connecticut. And guess what happens? Somebody else starts investigating, called the Internal Division of the Criminal Division of the Internal Revenue Service. The IRS. Hey folks, those people really have guns too. They came to my house one time on another matter, scared to live in hell.
They're packing.
But the point of it is, they were investigating. And somebody either close to people in the criminal division of the IRS who knew about the details of this investigation, or somebody in the investigation started leaking stuff to Congress, to the senator from Iowa, I can't think of his name, the old man, Charles Grassley, and to James Comer, who's the chairman of the Oversight Committee, and to Jim Jordan. They started leaking. Well, they knew that there's all kinds of stuff there, right? And they're doing a serious investigation in the IRS. So what happened this week, Kevin? Well, the DOJ, the Department of Justice, picked up the phone, called the head of the IRS, and suddenly this unit in the criminal division was told to cease, and they were taken out of the criminal division.
Yep, every one of them.
Every one of them. Folks, right in front of your face, these people, what appears, I'm not saying it is, but just the appearance, the optics, sure looks like what? Obstruction of justice.
So bad.
Huh? It could be. I can't imagine. Would they do that? Well, the FBI hadn't done anything on the Hunter Biden thing, and there are whistleblowers in the FBI telling them that the investigation of what little there is complete fraud in the FBI. Wait a minute, where we've heard the word fraud before? Oh, about Russia, right?
Yeah.
What you have, Kevin, we have a third party in America. We have the Democrats, we have the Republicans, and then we have the deep state.
The deep state, absolutely.
It is a third part. Washington, D.C. is as corrupt. It's so into power and into these games that it's mind-blowing. It's very sad to me in another way. It just really, really is very, very sad. And these kinds of games are likely to continue now because they've gotten away with everything.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Durham is right. John Durham was right. Why should I go to trial in Washington, D.C. against these people? Because I can't ever, will never, can't possibly get a conviction. Why? Because of popular opinion in Washington, D.C. and New York City, the bastions of left-wingism in America. If on that coast, I mean, you take out San Francisco, Chicago in between, Philadelphia, you got some more. Atlanta, oh, they want to go to Trump, got to go to Atlanta too. I mean, we got to have, well, so let's talk about that now. So that's what they've done to the Biden investigation. But there's another, several investigations going on. What are they? Oh, Trump. Mar-a-Lago. Let's raid his house. We gonna raid his house? By the way, did you see Trump with Town Hall on CNN?
Oh yeah, that was, it's so funny because I've talked to some of my left-leaning friends and they think that CNN just made him look like an absolute ass. And I said, really? Because it didn't play that way for me. It made him look like, he made his host look like an absolute ass.
I don't know how anybody could look at that and say they made him look like an ass. All they did was the young woman alleged certain things and Trump knocked them down all over the place. And one of the things he talked about was the raid at Mar-a-Lago and how fraudulent that was.
Mm-hmm.
She goes, well, what do you mean? Well, very simple. I had a few documents down there.
That he had declassified, by the way.
I did classified. I could do that as president. And Joe Biden had 18 boxes, hundreds of thousands of documents.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't raid him. They didn't go see him. And he couldn't declassify. Now, he said, and he had them in Chinatown. Well, she goes, oh no, that was no, Joe Biden stored them in a Chinese restaurant or some garbage like that at one time.
And in his garage next to his Corvette.
And then he had it in the garage, and then he had it at the infamous Biden Institute at the University of Pennsylvania, which we have learned since is financed completely by the Chinese.
Mm-hmm.
So, or predominantly by the Chinese. I don't want to be wrong.
Has there ever been a chief executive this compromised?
No.
I mean,
No, there's never been. This is outrageous. And the American press is like a bunch of boobs.
Yep.
And a reporter who wants to report it could report it, but he's going to take it to the editor, and the editor's going to go get that out of here.
Yep. Or if not, just
Folks,
absolute
the
fire.
one other thing that's come out of all this is real simple. Every conspiracy theory just hang around and it'll come true. That's the truth. That's the absolute truth. We'll be right back.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
Hi, I'm Katie, Operation Manager here at Old School Barbecue. We're excited about all of the changes here at Old School, and we'd like to invite everyone to come out and enjoy some delicious barbecue at Old School prices. We feature brisket, chicken, ribs, sausage, and the Boss Hog pulled pork sandwich voted best deal in town. We also have live music Friday and Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. 10655 Coursey Boulevard. We can't wait to see you.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Hey everybody, I'm Kevin Gallagher. This is Roy Fletcher. We hope you'll join us for Fletch Nation, especially if you like talking politics.
Hey, come and join us. We'll give you the information, and then we'll give you the context. And by the way, we'll give you fun too.
Lots of fun. We hit the local races, the state. We even look at what's going on all across America. And by the way, this space is available. If you'd like to talk about advertising, send your emails to royfletcher at royfletcher.com and join us every week here on the Pelican for Fletch Nation.
The biggest sale of the year is happening right now during Happy Honda Days at Team Honda. For a limited time, make no payments for 90 days on every new Honda. That's right, you choose and make no payments for 90 days at Louisiana's #1 Honda dealer, Team Honda on Segan Lane.
Caught spiders? Premier Pest Services.
Welcome back to the We Told You So extravaganza here on Fletch Nation. We're talking about the Durham report, fallout from it. Roy, you had a thought before I went into my next question, so let me let you get that before I ask.
Go ahead.
No, you.
No, well, I want to make one more point. I mean, if you don't believe how deep statey this all is, remember now, they didn't investigate the Hunter Biden laptop. It's got stuff all over it. Okay, we know it's got all. I mean, I'm gonna tell you, if your laptop had gotten out with all that stuff on it, how long would you not be in jail for? 2 hours? 3? 4? Yeah, you've been arrested.
Yeah.
So, just on the pornography,
let's not forget that laptop allegedly has a lot of video recordings of straight up illegal activity.
That's what I'm talking about. So
drug use, sex with minors,
stuff, children,
allegedly.
Allegedly. I mean, that's right. We got to say allegedly. But there's one other thing, and that is, hey. So the laptop. What else happened right before the 2020 election? That no question. Now, the deep state was in it. The CIA was involved. The infamous CIA letter saying the Hunter Biden laptop is Russian disinformation.
Yeah, it's a load of hooey.
Signed by all Clapper, Brennan, the whole cabal of frauds.
Yep.
Everyone, Mike Morrell.
The top liars in the nation.
The morass of hideous animals of fraudulent behavior. That's pretty bad. Well, I just went on out there. So the point of it is that they stop it. They stop at nothing. I mean, they absolutely stop at nothing. And it just goes to show you, folks. Now, you think we're going to have an honest election in 2024? Think again. Think again.
I highly doubt it.
But we're going to talk about that in a minute. Now, you're going to ask a question.
I wanted to ask you about the effect that all this has on the populace in general. I mean, I really I don't think that this is going to change a lot of minds who vote D.
It's not going to change any minds, but I got to tell you, and I don't, intend for it to change any amount. What I do intend for it to do, to be a warning to people that there's something happened here over the last 10, 12, I don't know how long it's been, but there's something of such malevolence has happened that these kinds of things can be done for no other reason than political, and they're messing with the very institution that we depend on, and they're messing with the very processes that we depend on, processes like the criminal justice system, the electoral system, all of that. They're messing with all of that. And when that happens, they were messing with Twitter. They're still messing with Facebook, I'm sure.
Oh, sure.
They're messing with all that social media. That's all the places where we have free speech.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you have free speech in America. You just don't have the right to a platform.
You and I we've posted this show onto Facebook, and it's been 10 days from the time I posted it to the time it actually showed up on our Facebook page.
Well, I got kicked off of Twitter for life.
Yep.
That's one of those.
I just while you were speaking there,
and I probably should have, because I got mad and said something I shouldn't have said.
Yeah. That's the only problem. That's the big problem with the internets and the social media.
Well, it's the problem with Twitter, because you just go, you send it. And
you get emotional and you go, oh, shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, but the problem with that is that I get kicked off 8 months after I posted it. So somebody went back and found the post and then reported it.
Oh, I love when they dredge up ancient history.
Okay, and it came the day after Comer was wondering on a Twitter feed, how could local DAs get jurisdiction over the Hunter Biden campaign? I said, you have it in Arkansas. Just seize everything he's got up there and make them bring all of the financial records to Arkansas. By the way, that's getting ready to happen. So, but somebody took great offense at my insight into that anyway. That's okay.
It occurred to me that what we used to have in this country was government of the people, by the people, for the people. No. It's become government on the people, at the people, to the people.
That's pretty much true. I'm not sure. I think in the very early parts of this country we did have, and then up through Jackson, and at some point it changed. I don't know when it changed, but as the bureaucracy grew, the less this was a government of, for, and by the people. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's just no question about that. As a social welfare state, as the deep state, all of it. By the way, there's a former congressman from Louisiana named Ernest T. Jacquelot. I never heard of this guy. He was a member of Congress in the 30s, or 31, 32, somewhere right in there. And this guy was a guy that stood up on the House floor and was the head of the delegation that was dealing with the 36 Olympics. Mm-hmm. Okay, he was the chairman of it. The president made him chairman. And this guy said, boycott him, don't go. Why? Because Hitler is a Nazi.
Yep.
And Hitler is a fascist.
Yep, and they're no damn good.
And that guy was in Louisiana, and nobody celebrates this guy at all. Mm-hmm. Ernest T. J-K-L-N, something like that. I can't remember exactly. I couldn't say the name anyway. But it's interesting that this guy has never been
visionary.
Yeah, he's kind of venerated.
He saw the problem they were going to be before they became a problem.
Absolutely. I'm proud of this guy. And proud he was from Louisiana. Anyway, maybe he knew a Nazi when he saw one. I don't know. But anyway, the point is that he was from Louisiana. So, Kevin, since we're on I Told You So, let's go to the next I Told You So.
Okay.
And then we'll go to the third I Told You So. Next I Told You So is the first week after Tucker got fired. Mm-hmm. I said, Kevin, it's just my gut that they fired him in that Dominion settlement.
That's what I was thinking too.
$785 million that Fox has to pay Dominion for saying bad things on TV and blah, 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 blah. And then Tucker got fired. But then it got all confused and the Soros spin got out and it kind of got Yeah, and it got to confuse me a little bit. And then yesterday, the Variety magazine reports sources, unnamed, of course, know now that Tucker Carlson's name and the demand for him to be fired apparently was raised in the negotiation and the settlement between Fox and Dominion. There it is, folks.
Yep. In other words,
Dominion wanted no more.
They called for the head of John the Baptist on a platter.
They called for the head of John the Baptist on the platter. The man out there screaming and yelling in the desert, but he just happened to have a really solid audience.
The largest primetime
on
television
cable.
audience at the time on cable TV.
Yeah, I mean on cable, and now the ratings on Fox, all across the board, not just primetime, the whole thing is going down. You know why, folks? Because the American public.
They showed their base that they're no longer with them. That's what they've done.
That's what they've done. The American public is not stupid, and we'll be right back.
Okay, 3 minutes. Come back.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private Healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready, and health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
Every great story starts with the rush of thrilling gaming action. Handcrafted flavors, eager to please. Getaways for some well-deserved me time. And rewards worth bragging about. If it's a story worth telling, it starts at La Berge Baton Rouge. What's your story?
Tremonti's has meat. Tremonti's has seafood. Tremonti's has much more. Tailgating and home gating platters. Huge wine and liquor selection. Beer and all the spices you need. Chairman Reserve and Wagyu meats. Ribeye rolls, shrimp rolls, kebabs. 20 flavors of sausage for the grill. Daily lunch specials and game processing. On-site catering also available. Good meat ain't cheap and cheap meat ain't good. Visit Tremonti's.com.
You can't smell it, but you can almost taste it. And whether it's for a family get-together or a game day feast, having Manda in the mix always sounds good. For 3 generations, their quality meats and original seasonings have made Manda a Louisiana legend and made their family sausage Louisiana's family sausage. Manda Fine Meats. The flavor says it all.
Treads & Care Tire Company announces its new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair with top-notch customer service. Treads & Care offers the convenience of shuttle service and pickup and delivery of your vehicle. You can also enjoy the comfortable customer area, complete with workstations, high-speed internet, and a complimentary coffee bar.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
Treads & Care, the tires you need and the service you want.
What's going on to the breach here on Fletch Nation? Thank you so much for being with us this week.
By the way, Kevin, there was one other person that was right. And I would have been bereft because somebody sent me a video of it in 2017. Rush Limbaugh.
Absolutely.
Called it a complete and total fraud from day one.
Yep.
Got to give Rush credit for that. God bless his soul.
Rush is right.
Do not doubt
it. I used to love when he would say that on his show. Don't doubt me.
99.7% right.
And it's like you said though before the break. It's like almost every conspiracy theory. You wait around long enough, you're going to find out it's coming true.
So and the AI thing and all that's coming too. So look here. So one of the impacts of this thing is what is the impact on the presidential race? And that's interesting because last night was a very bad night for Ron DeSantis. DeSantis advisors, for some reason, convinced DeSantis to go to Kentucky or endorse the female candidate, Clark, I think was her name, in Kentucky in the Republican primary.
Okay.
And Trump had endorsed the Attorney General, forget his name. This is a Republican primary. Trump's candidate won with 48. The second guy was 18, and the third guy was this woman. The third
DeSantis
person,
back.
Way back. That DeSantis.
Way back.
Yeah, DeSantis. She finished.
So he backed a horse who didn't even show.
Didn't show. Okay. Well, that's bad enough.
Pardon me.
Except for another thing. Mayor's election in Jacksonville, Florida. He went in there, and that's in his backyard. That's in his home state. And he endorsed the Republican candidate. The Republican candidate last night got beat in a close election by a Democrat in the state of Florida. It was not a good night for Ron DeSantis. And by the way, my sense of him now, I've seen him speak on, on C-SPAN or whatever, a couple of times now in the last week or two. And this notion that he has to be the Trump light, has to be very controlled and very, very articulate and be very restrained is really showing through. And it's not very becoming.
I think people liked him when he was,
when he was more out
fiery.
there, more fiery and more out there. And a friend of mine who's had a lot of experience said to me, this is a classic case of overcoaching. And when he said it, I was like, that's exactly what this is. This is a classic case of overcoaching and overthinking. You got to go out there and fire this thing up.
See, this is the kind of thing where I find your insights in these things are always fascinating because you've got the perspective of a campaign coordinator, advisor, consultant that a lot of people don't have when they look at campaign behavior.
Right.
You're right. Somebody is telling him, soften it up, Ron. It's real clear to me that the distinction they want to draw is Trump light. Shoulders on camera. Shoulders on camera. Step out of the shot. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
This is a working restaurant, man. Sorry.
Well, that's right. But to any extent, and it didn't bother me, but Kevin picked it up immediately. But the fact is that this DeSantis thing is, I want him to be a good candidate, and this is not looking good at all for him, and he appears to be proceeding to announcing, etc. But I think somebody should slow the train down over there a little bit and kind of readjust, because there's an effort to try to be something that he's not, or to make him something that he's not. And I kind of liked him the way he was. I
think they need to advise him to be his own man.
Yeah, and I'll tell you who else was that kind of got scripted like that too, besides Ted Cruz, who got that way in 2016. The other one, though, that I thought was fascinating that it just happened and didn't he got caught like a deer in the headlights, was Marco Rubio, who was a very bright, very good, very articulate, great story. And he got scripted and overcoached, and he couldn't tell people what he needed to tell them.
Yeah, in 16, you and I had high hopes for Rubio. We thought he was going to make a much better showing than he did.
Well, after...
Of course, then Mr. Trump entered the race and sucked all the oxygen out of the room.
Sucked all the oxygen out of the room. And then on the first debate, I'll never forget, I was in New Orleans with a friend of mine watching on a big old TV in his living room. And I walked out of that room after the debate, and he goes, "What are you thinking?" I said, "I don't know." And he goes, "There ain't but one man on that stage, Donald Trump." I said, "You're right," and that's what I didn't want to admit. So anyway, so that's now. By the way, there's another little problem out there that is going to deal with the Democrats and the Republicans and deep state to some extent. George Santos, the infamous congressman from New York,
and totally lied about his resume.
About everything. I mean, Santos lied. No, Santos.
Republican.
Here's the 3 times Santos told the truth. I mean, that's kind of the way it is. So he's been indicted for everything: mail fraud, wire fraud, for any fraud you can think of. But of course, I mean, these other people don't get indicted, but he got indicted. So now they're saying, well, they kick him out of Congress, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, guess who's kind of reluctant to do that? The Democrats. Now, why do you think the Democrats would be reluctant to kick this boy out of Congress? I mean, they get another vote if they can get him out of there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, people are asking that question.
They may get another vote with him in there.
Well, it could be. But they're asking that question, and I think it's real simple, because they don't know when somebody they have in their party is going to get indicted, and they're going to have to, somebody will say, well, you did that to Santos, let's do that to your guy.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, that's a real problem.
That's an excellent point.
Yeah, it's not exactly a Sunday school up there. I mean, it's not, First Baptist meeting, it's a little rough up there. And they have some personalities and some past that could pop up at any moment, if you follow where I'm coming from. So that's kind of sad. That one other thing, Biden vetoed the bipartisan bill protecting U.S. solar panel makers from Chinese competition. A continuation of the Joe Biden making sure that China gets their business tended to.
By all means, let's make sure that Joe Biden's Chinese friends are getting taken care of.
Yeah, because they paid for it. They paid for it.
America could go to hell.
Yeah, there you go. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back next week. Thank you for being with us.
God bless. Bye-bye.
Listening to Fletch Nation with Roy Fletcher and Kevin Gallagher. Remember, if you heard something that ticked you off, upset your sensibilities, or threatened your precious safe space,
the opinions expressed by the hosts and guests are purely their own and do not reflect those of this radio station or its advertisers.
So if you're calling a lawyer, or planning a boycott, or a cancel campaign, forget about it and join us next week for more Fletch Nation.